Hello and welcome back. MC1 Gamer here, bringing you some new rumors that I've been hearing tell about this stuff for quite a while. I'm sure a lot of people have been reading on various sites, Warseer, some of the sites that have less than stellar rumors, like Bell of Lost Souls and Fayette 212. But I've been grabbing some of the rumors from various sources that have been fairly consistent and fairly accurate. What it looks like is the next End Times book is going to be the Skaven. So good on you, Skaven folk. Everybody who's interested in Skaven should be very excited. And I would be excited to see some more. I don't know. I wouldn't say necessarily balance, but just at least an update to the Skaven where they can fit more appropriately with 8th edition and leading into 9th. So hopefully there's some more clarity to some rules that have been very gray or ambiguous or just completely are not appropriate for 8th, so that we can, a lot of those questions can be put to bed, but also so that Skaven players don't have to carry around 8 pages of FAQs, and so that non-Skaven players don't have to memorize 8 pages of FAQs to ensure that who they're playing against is on the up and up. So here's some of what I've been reading and seeing and hearing about, and not really hearing much more than this. And I have some speculations. This certainly is carried over from some of my previous speculations and things that I've been prognosticating about where End Times and where potentially 9th might be going. But let's take a look at just some stuff as it pertains to End Times and the next book. Skaven is supposed to be focused in this book. So this book is now also rumored to have new battles for battles and dungeons. So kind of like the underworld battles, like that source material book that came out a few years back, which I've yet to acquire and apparently is hard to come by, and has certainly some interest. But a lot of this was foreshadowed also in the first book, with some interesting underground rules that were included in Warhammer Nagash. But apparently this is going to be so much more fleshed out. So what does this mean? This means, in all likelihood, and again, this has not been really confirmed in any of these rumors, or any rumors are not confirmation, but really haven't heard much of anything about anything new with dwarves other than the potential for them to get some kind of a golem or large war machine type structure to add into their toolbox. And even then, that has not been included in the latest round. That's a rumor that's been floating. But this one includes the fact that there's probably going to be the battles and the scenarios are going to be much more underground. So you got to figure that's going to include some stuff that involves the stunties. Is it going to include other armies that seem to be getting left out with the End Times? Could it be we may see some orcs and goblin stuff? I don't know. I haven't heard any whispers about that at all. But what is interesting is that there are some rumors that pertain to certain models that will get released or get updated. And so some of that was something that was extremely absent when it came to Warhammer Cain. No model releases, no new releases. Now, admittedly, there's a new book with the Wood Elves. It hasn't been terribly long since we've seen updates, for instance, with the Dark Elves. The Dark Elf book is still rock solid. High Elf book is still rock solid. And there's plenty of models that were released with all those releases. They were pretty widespread releases with some great stuff. High Elves were even focused on when it came to one of the the last major box set with the rules. And so that also included a nice group of Skaven in that starter set. So there's a lot of models that we haven't seen either models for in a long time, and they're discontinued, or we haven't seen any. There haven't been any at all, and whatever that availability is, this is what the rumor is. And I did report some of this stuff going way back that were again long-term rumors then, but now it seems to be on the horizon that we might be getting a big Vermin Lord kit, a big kit. So it's not just going to be some large base type kit. like a 50 mil. This might be something very large to so that I guess GW can charge a horrendous price for it. But it's appropriate within the the super heavyweight godlike things that they've been throwing at each of these books that people can then put on the field. Why should the Skaven be any different? So we might see, according to these rumors, a new model for Lord Skrulk, for Lord Nurglich. The big one that a lot of people have been talking about have been Thanquol and Bone Ripper, which is cool. That would be cool. I like to see that. A Grey Seer on foot, which is pretty easy. A lot of people have customized it, done a custom conversion job. It's not a hard one to do with some of the stuff that's out there, but it would be nice to get a different model. And Rat Ogres, and supposedly a dual kit with Poison Wind Globadiers and Plague Sensor Bearers. That's another rumor. It'd be nice to see that, but I can see something like that happening. I could definitely see them moving into plastic combo kits. So, what does this mean? This means, it would be nice to throw out some specifics in terms of timing. We're looking at from the rumors sometime in early January, like the first week of January. This makes sense. They just released Kane. We're going to go through the holiday times where I'm sure people are still going to be digesting that, and it gives us a little bit of time after the holidays. So we're talking about another month, likely. We're going to see the next End Times book, and as has been reported, and I extended this rumor as well, there looks like there's going to be another End Times 5 book. Is there going to be a 6th? I've heard rumor that they're going to continue on to 6, but I've also heard that 5 might be, the finish of the End Times. But I'm also hearing on the tail of this that two things that are very interesting. One is that the Brettonians could be getting in Q1. Could be getting the first army book. Now this comes from Darnock on Warseer. He's pretty spot on. He's usually accurate, not necessarily with the when, but the what. And he tends to be general. When he gets details, they tend to be spot on. And most of what he does is he eliminates, when he posts stuff, he eliminates rumors that are that are just incorrect, that he knows are not true. And he's fairly cryptic. I guess he's just he's holding things close to the vest. Maybe he wants to protect his source. I know that we're not talking about international espionage here, but he has a very good track record, and there's a couple other people as well that you can follow on your own if you're looking for this stuff that seem to be pretty. They seem to be in the know, whether they are under the guise of a fake username on these sites, or they're friendly, or they frequent, or they they hit the pub with somebody from GW, and after saucing them up, they're getting some detailed information, or they're invited into the boardrooms and get the lowdown because they're in the gaming industry in some capacity. I don't know. But this guy seems to be have a really good track record, so I'd believe him when he says, and he's been saying this for a while, that Bretts are supposed to be getting a book. This is countering this. We've been hearing rumors about Brettonians potentially not getting a book. But I've been hearing that from the reliable sources. And I've reported a couple times, Bretts are coming. Again, it seems to be that the question of the when doesn't seem to be as solid, but the rumors tend to be very good. You can bank on them. It's just a matter of when GW decides they want to release it and what their schedules appears to be. So sometime in Q1, Bretts could be getting the first army book, looking forward into 9th. So we have an End Times book that might be leapfrogging after that, and it could be the next End Times book could be after the rumored 9th edition hits as well, which is also supposed to be rumored sometime in either Q1 or Q2. So we don't know if some of this stuff is going to be jumbled. We've heard May for the next edition. It could be that the next End Times book is delayed so that they can introduce the Bretts at the end of Q1, or so that in Q2 the new edition comes out. A lot of these things are in flux, but I really feel strongly about the idea that these things are going to happen because of the track record of the people that I'm hearing it from. Now, just so everybody understands that I'm getting I'm getting news from a lot of different sources. Some of these are weak, some of these are strong. One of the ones I've been getting are that there might not be a ninth, and I've heard that one before. And I've heard that again, and that comes out of actually some of the Europe and UK sites. It seems to be widespread and building that there might not be a new edition, and this lends to some of the things that I reported in my last discussion about Kane and what I had talked about for the future of Warhammer, and that is that potentially we might not see a new edition of Warhammer. That 8th edition could be the next definitive edition. Not the next definitive edition, the last definitive edition. And that all these source material books are going to eternally be released with as a campaign structure, the newest storyline with updated and adjusted rules that you use, but the framework is built on 8th going forward. Again, I have dual mind about this. There's a lot of broken rules that pertain to various new books that come out that, again, they don't necessarily fit, or even old books. Could these books be over the course of time updated through these new source books? The hard part about that is that you're going to need multiple books in order to use as the basis for building your army and looking up rules, and that's a logistical nightmare. I experienced that with my Undead Legions. I'm pulling from Vampire Counts, Tomb Kings, the Nagash book, that's 3 different books right there, plus the big red rule book for standard rules and spells, another spell deck. Then you have Cane Magic for potentially using if you use those scenarios, or if you're up against elven hosts, those are supposed to kick in, and that's just an array of volumes that you need to have at your disposal. And even if they're in digital, you've got to bounce back and open and close, and it's a pain in the neck to do. And if they're hard copy, you've got these tomes that it's heavy enough to carry some of these large armies, but now you've got to carry all these volumes of books, and that's just you have to be able to, in a tournament setting especially, be relatively quick about this stuff. And even in a local setting, you don't want to have a 5-hour game that's 2.5K. That's just too long to be playing a 2.5K game. So I'm concerned about that might be the model. I've mentioned this before. I've talked about it several times over the course of the last several months. It could be the way things go. It's certainly a moneymaker for GW, but it's going to be hard on the wallet for the rest of us, and it's going to be hard to keep up and keep pace. With that in mind, if that is possible, because again, the rumor is also that there's going to be a new 9th, but then we're hearing about this possibility that 9th is not coming. It's just updates with these scenario packs, these series of books for this pushing the story forward, these story-driven campaigns with updated and add-on and optional rules and situational rules. Could it be a good thing too? The positive thing that I've mentioned, and I feel still strongly about that too, on the other side of the coin is that you're continuing to get new source material, new updates for Warhammer Fantasy on a regular basis, and that can't be necessarily a bad thing as far as the overall hobby is concerned. Will I be able to keep pace? Will you be able to keep pace? Will every person be able to keep pace and get everything? Probably not. I don't know anybody who has every book anyway. I think most people share books or find whatever methods that they can to get books just to minimize the expenditure. But it's unfortunate that could become that kind of a model that would price a lot of people out of getting everything, because if you're a competitive person, you want to have everything. But and the downside also could be that and then again, this is a double-edged sword. Things are constantly in flux. You're never going to be able to really just have your net list then bring that to a tournament. And as has been discussed several times in previous videos, could this also mean that the game is so much in flux that it's hard to know what to bring? It's hard to know what to bring to your local store. It's hard to know what to bring to the local tournament. It's going to be hard to keep pace with as an organizer to know exactly what you want to bring. So a lot of things are going to be excluded until they've been digested. Again, the positive side is, there's a focus and of attention on fantasy. And while there are disadvantages and negatives, it's a really big and positive thing that it's not being left by the wayside, and it's not just being ditched and ignored. Is this the way that everybody wants it? Well, a lot of us have asked for stuff like this. Are we getting it the exact way that we want to? Look, you can't please everyone. So we'll have to see how this falls. And if you have rumors, and if you have rumors from specific sources that you can name, and if you think that they're solid, feel free to post them. I would ask people, don't panic, don't scream at the sky, don't pull your hair out. This is not the end of the world. It may be end times in this particular scenario, but look, the fantasy is in a transition point right now, and we don't know quite whether or not it's going to level out again. There's a lot of uncertainty as customers, as fans, as enthusiasts, and GW isn't really good about mapping out what they're looking to do, and that puts us all on very shaky ground and with a lot of uncertainty, and that's unfortunate. I don't really appreciate that as a business model, and certainly I don't appreciate it at where I stand as the consumer. But if we're going to stay in this hobby, we're just going to have to hope that things become a little bit more stable going forward. I wouldn't cross your fingers, but if you love the hobby, don't just freak out and say you're going to sell your armies. See where this thing falls and see where things land. See how it may wind up in a better place than you realize. Let's not be all doom and gloom about it. And I'd really like to hear if anybody else. And I know there's plenty of people that are for some reason have started following me, and I appreciate that are overseas, and there's been a couple people that have posted stuff that they've been hearing that have been pretty accurate too. So weigh in, certainly share your opinion, and I will be happy to continue to release stuff as I hear it, see it, read it, and as people feed it to me. And I hope everybody has a great day.